I'm Keith Blinson, and my wife Peggy and our son Brian, and we have two granddaughters, Rossi and Mason, and that's Blinson Pole Hereford Farms. And we started in 1960, and we bought the farm here in 1961 or 1960. We bought the farm in 60, and we've raised registered Pole Herefords all these years. And the cattle you see here, with the exception of two cows, and they'll have a green-colored tag in the ear, has been born and raised here. And nearly every cow here will go back to what we call our foundation cow, 072 or Jordache we call it. And our son and granddaughters named all of the cattle after fashions, because we had Jordache and Fancy Pants and all that. And we started showing back in '74, and we showed up until 3 or 4 years ago at the state fair every year. We would pull a camper down there and spend 10 days. And but all of these cows, all of these cows were artificial bred. I don't think we run a bull with any of these. And what we do, we do the embryoing, and then we do the AI, and then we clean up with what we call a cleanup bull, one of our top bulls. And we have bulls for sale every year, and we have females for sale every year. And our total herd right now is about 60. And then Brian has probably 20 or 25, 30 at his farm. He's right out of Fuquay Farina. And then we market our cattle either through our state sales or private. Most of them are private treaty. And most of our bulls, a lot of people think because we just got pure registered cattle, that's it. But most of our bulls go into black herds. So, and because we send bulls all over the country.
So what kind of cow would that be?
That's an Angus. It's either Angus or Angus related. See, what happened years ago, you only had the black cow, which was an Angus, and then they have crossed with limousines and everything, and come up with black cattle. So all the black cattle you see today, and now don't misunderstand me, I'm not kicking the Angus breed. I want that sure, because somebody will think I'm just throwing off them. But the Angus bulls, they've bred to all of these things, and they've come up with a solid black animal. When they come up and breed them to a Hereford, it's black, but it's got a white head. But all the black cattle you see are not true Angus. They're Angus influenced, I guess you'd say it. But these cattle here, all of these cows had their calves natural, without any help.
So now have all of them calved at this point?
No, we have, let's see, we got 6, so we've got 4 to go. And part of them, we're not exactly sure, because if they go like another 2 weeks and don't do anything, then they'll be by the cleanup bull. And this, let's see, this calf here, that's the yellow calf is out of what we call 215 on Domino, and the deep dark ones are homeward calves. The thing we got with, another thing we do, and a lot of people don't have any, they don't do that, is we DNA our cattle. And for us to sell a bull registered, we have to DNA it and run all kind of tests on it. And so every bull that's running out in these pastures has not been done that. And but we'll DNA the calves. If we have a question, we'll DNA them. And the biggest thing is, even though they're all out of the same batch of eggs, one may come up with a DNA defect, not defect, but
Something a little different.
something different. And her full brother or sister will come up without that. So that's the reason we DNA them. And for us to sell a registered animal, we got to DNA them and run all these tests on them. And unless they're just going into a herd, all they're going to do is raise beef, then we don't have to do all that.
So just a second ago, you said that they were all AI.
All of these cows here
What that
were
means?
artificial bred. In other words, none of these cows here was sired by a bull naturally. They were all artificial bred. And part of these are part of them are eggs or embryo calves. And we have one cow up here. She was a two-time state champion, and she was stood second or third at the national.
That's awesome. Which one is she?
It's the one standing, the fourth one up there that away, right straight here.
Counting this way?
Uh-huh.
So she's like kind of the one on
Right.
the right there.
She's out, she's the lead cow of that batch right
Okay.
there. Yeah.
They're
The
beautiful.
cow up on the hill is one that was not born here, but she's out of all of our stuff, but she was born in, we sold a flush to a big farm down in Mississippi. And they took her down there and her sister. They took two cows down there and this calf was born
That's
from
cool.
that batch, and then it's a cow with 16, but she's not in this pasture, that came from Georgia. And
Nice.
and every calf we showed throughout our show career was bred on right here on the farm.
That's awesome.
We didn't go out and buy them. And somebody said, well, you ought to go somewhere and buy one. I said, we've been, one show, and I'll never forget it, we were showing in Kansas City, and Rossi walked in and come out second. And the one that came out seventh, the man had paid $60,000 for.
Holy smokes.
So I felt pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Has this always been your full-time business, or what other things have you done? What was your career?
No, we started here in the farm in 1960, but my full-time job was, I was in construction 53 years, had our own company. I started out with Brawl Hills and then at Wilkie Construction, then I formed my own company in 74. And we did general contract work. We built houses, had metal buildings, and a lot of other jobs we did for the 40 years. And then we bought the cattle in the farm here in 1960, and we started out with 2 cows. And then our son Brian, and he's the head of the Cattlemen Association of North Carolina, and we raised him. We raised, and he showed cattle his career while he was a junior. And then the 2 granddaughters, Rossi and Mason, both showed, and we've shown all over the United States. And we've showed at the State Fair, we showed there nearly 40 years. And but our business end of it helped take care of the farm itself. And a lot of the buildings you see are the company buildings where we had the cabinet shop and welding shop and other variety of places. And then we worked it into the farm process. And then in 1960, we bought our first Herefords. And we raise, and we do the complete cycle on raising them, and we grow our own hay, and then the financial part of it and making money. It's a hit and miss thing on whether you're going to make it. Depends on how you sell, but ours, we have a lot of expense that the average farmer does not have, because we do the embryoing, AI breeding, embryoing, and then we test all of our stuff, and even our hay we test for quality and all, and we hope to make money, but at times you're going to have a bad year, and the prices fluctuate so bad. But there's money to be made in it, but you've got to really work at it. And with the way we are now, just to have a cow or 20 cows and a bull, and not do any of the testing, any of the stuff like that, you could probably clear a little more than you would like we're doing it. But and our main objective up until 2 years ago was raising cattle for our granddaughters, our 2 granddaughters, and Brian to show. And they both aged out 2 years ago, and so now the cattle are just being raised to sell, and we've done all right, but most of our money as far as making it has gone into trying to raise show cattle. And,
so it's almost like a hobby.
It started out as a hobby, and in a way, but now it's going to be a little different, because we're raising cattle now for everything instead of just show cattle. And you may have 20 calves here, but one of them be good enough to show. And we buy semen, where the average bull and cow herd, we buy semen from all over the United States, and semen will run from $25 to $100 a straw, and then you have to put it in. And the embryoing, it's quite expensive, but you can do embryoing and get cattle out of your best cattle and build up your herd. And we've sold cattle throughout the United States, and we even had one bull that we sent 2,000, 4 of us on the bull together, but we sent 2,000 straws of semen to Australia, and we felt sort of patted our back that we sent that much to one place, and then we sold semen all over the United States out of that bull. And now we're all of these calves here are embryo calves, and there's one cow in here that was bred artificial, but all of these will be embryos, eggs that were implanted.
You said earlier, like, that you raised your steers to about 600 or 700 pounds. Is that correct? And then you
What now?
You raised your steers to about 600 to 700 pounds,
Right.
And then you sell those off.
I could on the selling part, the steers, we at times, if the price is real good, we'll sell them as soon as we wean them at 300 or 400 or 500 pound, or whatever the best price is. But we try to keep that calf on that cow for 7 months, because that way her whole cycle works. If you pull them off real early, you change her cycle. And then the last 2 years, we have fed our steers out to 700, 800, 900 pound, and we've had buyers for those that want to put them in the freezer locker. They'll keep them 6 or 8 weeks or a month or whatever, and seal for freezer beef. And our those average, the last 5 I sold averaged 900 pound all across the board.
So what sets the price for beef? Like when you sell, like if it's 900 pounds, how much do people pay a pound?
We have to pay, now, the way we sell ours now, we sell it and they pay all the packing bill, And the price goes according to what the price is on the market. That's sort of the price you have. Now you get a customer that's has done it, then you set a price and he meets that. But if you take it to the yard or to the stockyard, you get whatever they want to pay for it. Plus you pay a commission, and if we sell it here on the farm, the only thing we have to pay is a state checkoff, which if you see an advertisement and it's got a little check mark for beef, that means that check mark is the beef checkoff, and we send $1 to the federal government and $1 to the state cattleman thing, and that's the checkoff money, and that's what keeps the United States up to date on everything, is that money that's spent there. And but now, getting back to the selling, everybody has their own system of selling stuff, and everybody's at the mercy of what to bring. Now our registered stuff, we set a price on it, and it'll range, for a heifer will range anywhere from $1,800 to $2,500, and bred cows, we have bred cows here, bred heifers. They're in 18 to 25, about 18 to 25, and once in a while you'll get a real top animal, and it goes through our state sale. It'll bring, I think the most we've sold one for is 7,500.
That's cool.
And
That's awesome.
but ours will average in the $3,000 and $4,000 range. Now, if somebody comes here on the farm to buy it straight, it'll depend on the age of the animal and the pedigree. Now, if they're coming just to buy them something to raise beef, then the pedigree don't mean anything to them. I've had people come in here and pay top dollar, and I'd say, "How do you want the papers done?" He said, "You can throw them in the trash can." He said, "I want good, top quality stuff," and he said, "I don't try to raise my own cows. I get out and find me a couple that I want." So, but we do all of our stuff is up to date, and we do all the. One other thing that costs us more money too is we do all the health thing. All of our heifers are Herefords vaccinated. All our bulls are most of them are semen tested and DNA tested. All the cattle are DNA tested, and it costs a good bit of money to do all that. Where if you just run a herd of 20 cows and a bull, you don't have all that expense. And a lot of people do not run a health thing. See, these cattle, once a year they get a complete cycle of shots for pink eye, lepto, and we give them a worming shot, and it's a mineral shot, and they get about 5 shots a year, every year, and we usually do that in March and April. But the
So
only
do
reason
you do that, or does the vet come?
I do all that. I do all my shooting. And now, the last couple of years, if we're going to do the Herefords vaccination, which none of these will, all of these heifers, it'll be 4 to 6 months before they, because you do it in 4 to 8 months. Mm-hmm. So this batch will be on up in the summer. And if I will be doing a lot of the veterinarian has to do that, and sometimes I'll let him do that, but it's just a matter of running them in and giving them those 4 shots and right back out. And I've done it since 1960, so.
You're good at it.
Yeah, well, I've doctored about everything. See, I wanted to be a veterinarian, but when I came through school back in the 50s, my mother and daddy and brother, one of my brothers, they had, back in those days, they're called yellow jaundice, so it's what now, hepatitis or whatever it is. But anyway, and I didn't get to go to school, So mine's been all hard work and hard knocks.
Well, there's a lot of hard work in this.
Yeah. But we bought this place in 1960. To bring you up to date on the egg and embryo part, what we do is we take the cow and the embryologist, and we do all the hormones and all that, and he'll go in the cow and flush these eggs out. Yeah. And he will put that egg, if you're going to freeze it, he'll put the egg, froze or not froze, but he'll put that egg in this straw and cap it off. Then he will put, if it's live, if the cow's ready to put your recep's ready to put in, he will put this in without freezing it. And then the ones that's left over, he'll freeze, and they go in a tank like this. They'll go in a tank like this and in a straw with the name, the bull, and everything on it. And that is in the straw right there. That will, and at any time he can put that in a cow when she's in, if she's ready. And then we get one ready, you give her a shot, and she'll come in heat in 7 days, and then he can put that in it.
So does he have to, the embryologist has to come do that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that stored in dry ice?
It's liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
Yeah. And that can be, there's eggs in there that are 10 or 12 years. They'll last a lifetime as long as you keep them in there.
So where does the embryologist come from? Like, how do you find
The
him?
one we use comes out of, right out of Roanoke, Virginia. And what he does, he comes through once a month, and he gives you a date, and then you got to back up. First thing you do, you get your date, and then you back up, and he'll tell you what day to start your operation. And you give them a shot and put a cedar in, and a cedar is a this is a cedar, and this cedar has hormones, and you put that in the cow, and it stays in there 7 days. Then you pull that out, and you give them a shot of luteolase, and then they'll be in within 36 hours, whatever. And he comes back when they're in heat, and it's all timed. He'll come back, and he'll go up in that cow that you're going to put the egg in. And if she's got a CL on one of her ovaries, then he'll put this straw of semen in that horn. He got 2 horns in a cow, and he goes in and he'll find a CL, and then he'll put that egg in that, and you just hope that it'll take the CL.
Is the embryologist a veterinarian, or like that's
He's
specialized?
a veterinarian, but he specializes in embryology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Now he has they always have an aide with them, and the aide can be a veterinarian too. But the one that comes here, he's just been with them so long he could do everything they're doing, and he does all the paperwork. And they pull in here, and with a enclosed trailer, and hook up to the electricity. And he's got a full lab in there. He can freeze everything in that trailer.
Wow.
And when he leaves here, most of the time within an hour, the paperwork's on the computer up there of what he did, which egg he put in which cow would not accept an egg, a whole report. And within an hour or two, you've got the whole report of what that is.
So how long does it take? Okay, so once you cow gets the egg from the embryologist, how long does it take from that point till you have a calf?
9 months.
9 months.
There's so many days, but we always just say 9 months.
Just like a person.
It's every bit of this is, in case the kids would ask, every bit of this is just like mom and daddy. Now, there's certain animals it takes longer and certain animals it takes less, but a cow is what we call 9 months. And he'll tell you on that, if she accepts that, he'll tell you what date that calf will be.
Looking for a calf.
Yeah. And what we do then after we've done all of that, now in 30 days, I can draw blood and ship it to the bio place, and they can tell me if she's bred or not bred. Same as a vet does, but a vet has to wait like 45 days, but you can do this in 30 days. And what we do, like we got one now with cell cattle, and we bred her and bled her, and she was open. So yesterday when he came to do the blood work on the other one, he checked her to see if she had a cyst or something wrong with her, and he bred her, but we're not probably put her in the sale. But we'll sell. We got one for sale this year, and so that'll bring you up to date on when I say egg, you'll know what that is.
Yep. Perfect.
Yep. To calf food vaccinate all the heifers. We have all our heifers vaccinated, and they were running through one right after another, and he popped it and come in, and he just popped a shot in it, and that shot automatically sterilizes the bull, so we had to go ahead and castrate him. And what we have here is we have a cow that's just calved, and one quarter of her udder has swelled up and the calf cannot get it. So what we'll do today is milk her, and we may have to milk her a couple times. And what we do, we insert a needle with hole, and it'll drain the calf. You don't have to milk her or anything, but what we use is a surgical needle, and it's got 2 holes in it, and it'll drain in there and then drain out.
Does that hurt?
No, because it goes in the milk hole. Yeah, it's not actually a needle. But it's the easiest way I can describe it for people to understand. Yeah. Okay. You got it tied. Okay. She didn't even bother the other day. And that'll drain it completely out till there's nothing in there. And we're hoping that swelling will come out and they can breed her. The calf can take care of it.
It's just too big for the calf to get it wrapped around right now, right?
Yep.
And do you keep her calf back there so she doesn't freak out?
No, but
is that we bring them both.
We bring them both in together.
Yeah.
So she won't be fretting over it, and the calf will. A lot of times the calf will, if you leave them out there, they'll get excited and try to find her. But this, if we don't do that, it'll create a mastitis in that udder in that quarter there, and it'll get hard, and then that quarter will go to the bed. Now I can have the vet if I plan to keep this cow a long time. Of course, this cow is one of our oldest cows. I'll have him go in and surgically cut off that milk vein, and that way it would swell up, but there'd be nothing in it. And it would finally just more or less go away. But see now, when that's completely dry, it'll be down to a natural size.
Right.
It'll be long, but it'll be a natural size. We have 2 cows on the farm that we have to do this, and as they get older, and we replace them, and but you only have to do it a couple or 3 times.
How many calves do you think this cow's had?
5, 6 or 7 calves, yeah. But now we do something here that she may. This is not her calf. This is a egg embryo. We embryoed 2 cows, and we got 19 eggs, and we put in 6. We got 19 eggs out of 1, and we put in 6 in here, and then the other cow we got 12 or 14 eggs, I believe it was, and we put in 5, and out of the 11, 12 we put in, 4 of them took.
So you don't put 5 in one cow, you double that
one,
out.
yeah. The thing about it is, they have to have, you got to get them hormone shots and all this stuff, and they have to be able to accept that egg. And he puts it in the right or left horn, whichever's got a CL. And now I know a lot of this is going to be a little bit strong for the average person, but it's things that you can do, and after you learn if you learn about it.
7th graders learn about reproduction. That's one of their.
Okay. Well, and the reason we do that is we can breed our top cow, or top 4 or 5 cows, to the top bulls in the United States, and have them what they call flushed. And then we can put eggs, if we got recip cows, and what we do, we use our own cows and put eggs in them, and then if they accept them, they go have the calf. If they don't accept them, then when the bull cleans up, he cleans everything up. And this is one operation that none of us like, but now we've had bloodlines that this is in, but we don't use them because now the best bull we ever had here was a full brother to the national champion, and his udders he throwed all out of his heifers. He throwed good small, well built udders, and we never had to milk them at all.
But that'll make her feel better for sure.
Oh yeah. See, now this is her 3rd or 4th time that she's had this, but the 2nd time I've had that, and see, she never even moved her foot or anything. Now the first time they moved the foot, that's the reason she's tied off.
Right.
And but what we'll do then, we'll put her back out for 3 or 4 days, and if the calf don't get it, then I'll do her one more time, and then.
So is the calf eating now?
Oh yeah.
Just off the other 3 udders?
The 3 udder, yeah. Yeah, the first thing we do once the calf, we want to be sure it gets up and starts.
So how old is her calf right now?
34. It's everything. All the calves are after the first day of March. So she'd probably be 3 or 4 days old, 5 days. And an embryo, which is an egg.
But now, she identifies that this is her mama, even though genetically
Oh, yeah.
it's not her mama.
It's everything of her mama except being kin to her.
Right.
I got her from a friend down the Rocky Mountain. And Brian called EB and he said, "Was that donkey halter broke?" She said, "That donkey wasn't even people broke." She come out of a swamp down about 400 acres of pasture.
Goodness.
Yeah. But she bit me the other day.
Oh,
And
no, she don't like me. She don't want none of that.
she bit me the other day and I popped her up good. And she's just now getting to where she'll come back. But that running the calves. So we had one here 30 some years.
Wow.
He died year before last. Call him Petey.
Petey.
We keep him up there in that lot behind the barn. And people would stop up there and feed him candy and all that.